shaking? Is it stop shaking? Is it shaking? Is the ring light shaking? Shake? No. Okay, cool. What's Gucci, what's poppin', what's Gucci? Guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you are all doing well. So based on the vote this week, we are going to be talking about rough sleeping. So let's get right into it. So let's start off with a bit of a definition, just so we have a better understanding of what rough sleeping actually is. So firstly, we have people who are about to or who actually sleep in places of open air. So this can be defined as parks, this can be doorways, this can be anywhere that's pretty much just open. So next thing we have are people who sleep in areas that are not actually designed for habitation. So this can be parks again, it can be derelict boats, derelict buildings, it can be different areas that are just not designed for sleeping. Now we have a better understanding of what rough sleeping actually is. Let's think about why it's actually happening, because if you deep it really, there are plenty of houses, you see plenty of houses every day walking down the street being built, but they are still homeless people, and there are various reasons as to why. So when looking at some of the individual factors, you can see that some people suffer with drug and alcohol substance abuse, and then we have some people who have mental health issues, and we also have some people who suffer with physical problems, which is why they are basically going through rough sleeping, or some of the reasons as to why some people actually go through rough sleeping. Next, when looking at some of the structural reasons, one big one that we can point to is unemployment and poverty. Because if you're poor, you can't pay your rent. If you can't pay your rent, you haven't got a house to live in and you haven't got a bed. Thus the rough sleeping. So really everything just links together. So why is rough sleeping a matter of concern? Other than the obvious that people are outside, it's cold, they're sleeping, they have no bed, it's not very nice. Other than that, when you actually think about the situation and when you do research, you actually realize that there are very detrimental effects to rough sleeping, both physical and mental. So statistics have shown that those who rough sleep are 17 times more likely to experience violence more than the general public. Now this makes sense, because imagine at night time, they are very, very vulnerable. No one is there to really protect them. The places where they are sleeping or where they're residing is very hidden. So it's very easy for someone to just attack them, steal whatever they have, and it just makes more sense that they would be more susceptible to violence. Now when looking even deeper into this, we can see that women are more susceptible to this violence, as 1 in 4 women, statistics have shown, experience sexual assault. Again, they have no one to protect them, they are very much in the dark. It is not surprising that they're going through this. Now when looking at some of the physical consequences, a university in London did a study, and they actually were able to prove that a person who goes through rough sleeping is 2 times more likely to have a stroke, and they're more likely to also have cardiovascular problems as well. Now some other consequences include exposure to poor living conditions. We have an inability to visit or an inability to register with a GP because they don't have a permanent address. We also have poor diet, a dependency on drugs and alcohol. And a lot of people don't think about that, because one thing that you see or one thing that you think is that a lot of them are alcoholics, a lot of them are drug addicts, but it has actually resulted in a dependency on them, because that is one of the only ways that they can survive out there in the cold, or they can survive the violence or whatever else that they're going through. It's a way to numb the pain, so that's another reason why they go through that. Also considering that they have very, very high stress levels, I'm assuming paranoia being out there, because me, even in the dark, I don't want to be on my own in the dark. The minute I hear a weird sound, I always think something's out to get me. So imagine experiencing that every single night. So that causes high stress problems, which again can be a reason as to why they become dependent on drugs and alcohol to numb that, or to better their just to help them, really, to help them to go through whatever that they're going through. So we can see that both the physical and mental strains have an overall impact on their mortality rate. So for example, we can see that men are said to live to about 76 years old, but those who rough sleep are said to live to about 44 years old. Similarly with women, it's about 81, but then with the rough sleeping, they end up living about 42 years. So according to the NHS, we can see that they basically live about 30 years less than everybody else. Now, lucky for us, we have Homeless Link, which is the national membership charity for frontline homeless services. Now, they work directly with people who are experiencing homelessness, and as well as this, they work with local and national government to help improve policies that affect those who are experiencing homelessness. Now, they've been able to connect over 12,000 people to vital services and or accommodation. As well as this, they've been able to employ over 8,000 people, with 700 of them being able to respond to calls of abuse. So that is it from me today, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned something new. Please try and do what you can in order to help those who are going through rough sleeping. As you know, there are always charities, I will link them down below. Always charities that you can donate to, always walks and stuff that you can do to help raise money and to help spread awareness about this issue. So please do what you can. I will see you next week with a new video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram so that you can vote on what video you want to see next. Other than that, spread love and positivity everywhere you go, and I will see you next week. Bye!